good cup of coffee. Debunk the reviewer or debunk the viewer. Hi and welcome. If you're new here, I welcome you, and I hope that we can earn your subscription today. So what inspired this? I'm in the process of putting together my 6-month review for the Surface Duo 2, and it just kind of made me think about reviews. And I had been asked by some of the community to do a debunk of Marques Brownlee's review of the Surface Duo 2 MKBHD. And I had thought about doing it. I've got my notes here about what I was going to do. This was months ago. I debunked one video and got some very good comments on it and requests. And on the Telegram channel, Surface Duo Global. So there's a Surface Duo 2 review video that has over 2 million views. I saw it. It triggered me, but it was kind of complex in how you debunk it. So I looked that video over maybe 5 different times. I developed my notes of what I was going to debunk. And if you go search for Surface Duo 2 reviews, man, it's going to be typically the first video that's presented to you. And certainly if you look at the reviews, and maybe one of the first videos that you'll see will have, a handful of thousand of views, and then you see this one with 2.2 million views. Which one you're going to look at? Of course, you're going to look at the 2.2 million. And this is why people said, or one of the reasons, I'm positive, why people wanted it debunked. So he is one of the top, and actually I'm going to rephrase that. He's considered the top tech reviewer. Now, when I view his content, it's hard to call him he's not a technical tech reviewer. Maybe that's the way I should put it. He's more of a how I use it reviewer. So, and his stuff is based around technology. So thus why he's considered a tech reviewer. So looking at his review as I went through, he actually used the word objective maybe twice. I know at least once it struck me, because one of my notes was, well, you're not reviewing it objectively. Your points here are subjective. And I'm okay with subjectivity. Everybody's got their own opinion on things. Is the opinion based on solid objective data is the question. And that's what usually triggers me, is when something is wrong technically. I don't need confirmation bias. I like my stuff that I like, and whether you like it or not, that's your choice. And if I need confirmation bias of using the Surface Duo 2, it's out there. I can get it. So I don't really need that. But it does bother me when I see, from a technical point of view, things missed. So when you look at this review, and this is something that should be considered in reviews, is how he approaches a review. So a technical tech reviewer would take the device, determine before doing the review before using the device, what are the aspects of the device that are considered its top things. And that should come from the marketing blurbs that you get by the supplier. And if a supplier is giving you a device to review, in this case, Microsoft, you can certainly get a one-on-one conversation, even with Panos, I'm sure, and have told to you, this is what we see the uses of the device should be. And you need that. Why? Because this device is not a candy bar phone, which is what he is accustomed to reviewing. And honestly, that's what everybody's accustomed to reviewing. And don't throw out that you review a Z Fold, because it's a candy bar device as well, in my opinion. It's a candy bar device that gets split in two to be a candy bar device. So its use is quite a bit different than a Duo, a two-screen device. And when he went into his review, you could tell he didn't use the device much before actually doing the review. To give it a day worth of use would be even the question, because the review didn't throw that out. It's like you picked it up and tried to start using it. And you could give me, I haven't used an iPhone in 6 years, but you could hand me an iPhone and I could start using it, because I've used my current candy bar phone is a Samsung S21 Ultra. I'm very familiar with the use of it, and I could apply pretty much everything that I use with it to an iPhone. Plus, I have iPhone experience, so it wouldn't be that big of a deal. That's not a hard use case to review, because you're going to use the devices the same. You're going to do the same kinds of things, just with a different OS behind it. And maybe a few little things different in how you gesture and use, but the use is going to be the same. So if you take a Surface Duo with that kind of mindset and start using it, you're just missing the whole point. And thus, you're not going to give the proper review that's desired. And a lot of people that ask me to debunk this review, they saw this. But I also think that they were feeling a little bit edgy because they purchased something and they wanted him to like what they purchased. And I get that. Confirmation bias is a good thing, and some people need it. So after about 5 watches of the video, I'm like, I can't. This is like 95% subjectivity. And even though some of it is based on poor objective data, in the end, it's subjective. And I see now how he came to his conclusions because of the approach that he went into. Okay, so you can tackle him on that. And it's actually a sack. He dropped back to pass and he got sacked in the end zone. No question. But is there value here? Now, I didn't do a straight up debunk, maybe because I like watching his content. He's somebody I think I'd like to sit down and have a conversation with. I have wings. I saw him on Hot Ones. I'd like to have some Hot Ones wings with him. I don't have an issue with him, and I watch many of his reviews, not to get a technical feel, because I kind of know what I'm going to get from him, and he'll point out some things, and it just maybe gives me a little bit of inkling of things that I need to go investigate if I'm going to make a purchase of something like that. But it doesn't drive my decision. My decision will be driven by deeper dive technical reviews of people who actually understand the technical aspects of that particular product. Now, granted, some of the stuff he does know, because again, it's within that box. And a Surface Duo is outside that box. So, biggest trigger thing, subjective thing that I know is objectively wrong was there was no improvement from a Duo to a Duo 2. And that was wrong and still is wrong, but it's okay. So did Microsoft learn anything from this is the question. Surface Duo line of products is targeted towards a certain use case. And that use case is primarily using Microsoft Office apps and other productivity things and in combination with your Android stuff. Now, you may step outside of it being using Outlook, Teams, OneNote over to using OneNote and Edge and dragging content from Edge over to OneNote and one just, select, drag, drop, which you can't do on a candy bar phone. You got to select, copy, switch, paste. So it's not as productive or clean or seamless. The experience on a Duo should be treated like sitting down at a computer and having a second monitor, and how you use your second monitor. When he takes a video and spans it across two screens as one of the very early first uses of the device, it's like, you don't get it. But that's okay, because you tried to do that. And Microsoft is targeting this group of people, but for this device to reach a third, a fourth, a fifth, for this device to evolve on, it's going to have many, many, many users. So the number of devices that get sold are going to have to creep up at least to the sales volume of, first I would say Windows 10 Mobile when I first thought about this, so of the 950s and 950 XLs, but it might have to creep up to like a 920. So your 920, 1520, that time frame of Windows Phone, 8.0, 8.1, that era of devices. Your sales are probably going to have to creep up to somewhere in that range. Do we want that, or do we need that? Yeah. I think for Microsoft to develop and take this technology to where it needs to go, they need that. Now, to get into that kind of market means you're going to have to start pulling in more general users, just like MKB. You need to be able to get those people, and to get those people, they're going to come to the approach of using this device like the device that they left. And I see this on Reddit a lot. I see how people take the approach of using a Duo 2, and they're trying to have it be their iPhone replacement, their Samsung replacement. And that's fine, and you can do it, but it takes some adjustment. Could that adjustment curve be lessened? Without doubt. AI could address that tremendously. How does Microsoft know what to address? Well, they need more input from people like MKB. So there is some value here. If you take a look at that review and you say, he's actually taking this approach. And that's not our intended use, but it doesn't hurt us for people to use it like that. What can we do to make it better? So there is some value that can be gained from that review and other reviews like it. Thus why I didn't do a straight up debunk. I'm hopefully letting some of you understand why the review occurred like it did and what its potential value still might be. If you found this useful, give me a thumbs up. Likes help the algorithm and maybe more people will see it. And it's really just a goal here, subscriptions too. Give me subscriptions. The more subscriptions, the more likes, the more somebody will see something, and the more they may see that it's useful to them. And that's just my whole goal, is to try to be useful. Comment, tell me what you think. You might agree with me, you might disagree with me. I am going to do some other debunks, though. There are some pretty lousy approaches to things, and maybe I don't like those people as much as I do MKB, and thus I can debunk their stuff. Bell notification if you'd like to know when new videos are uploaded. And lastly, but most importantly, thanks for watching.